What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to the bar. Today I'm gonna go for muscle ups, dips, and push-ups. And I had an idea of mixing my reading hobby in some of my training videos. I have a few books with me that I'm gonna talk about, and who knows, maybe some of you will find something interesting. But first, I'm gonna go for 10 muscle ups after I finish this warm-up. The bar is super slippery. First up is Sea Wolf by Jack London. This is an adventure novel. The book follows Humphrey Van Weyden, who in the beginning of the book is physically a very weak man who has lived a very comfortable life focusing on books and philosophy. In the beginning of the book, Humphrey gets in a shipwreck accident and gets saved by a seal hunting ship called the Ghost. The Ghost is commanded by a very brutal but intelligent commander called Wolf Larsen. All the crew on the ship is pretty much afraid of Wolf Larsen because of his dominance. So after being saved, Humphrey asked Wolf Larsen to drop him off at the nearest port, but Wolf refuses to do so. And there the story begins. While the story progresses, Humphrey begins to change. He becomes physically stronger, he learns new practical skills, and he becomes a lot more confident. So the push behind the positive growth is because of a very cruel and a scary man, Wolf Larsen. But everything on the ship gets even crazier after they rescue a female from the sea. But I'll let you discover it on your own. In Cold Blood by Truman Capote. This is a non-fictional novel that tells the true story about the murder of the Clutter family in 1959 in a small Kansas town. A wealthy farmer, his wife, and their 2 kids were found dead, blood all over the walls, phone lines cut, and only a few dollars stolen. The book talks about the murder in detail, so if you're into that kind of stuff, you're in for a treat. It also follows the investigation, the escape of the killers, Richard Hancock and Perry Smith, their capture, trial, and execution. It's considered one of the first and most influential true crime books. Super interesting. I suggest you pick it up. I'm gonna do some dips on the rings today. And if you got any interesting books that you want to suggest, leave them down in the comments. I'm gonna make sure to check them all out. Woo! Let's go. A few more. One more. Fuck yeah. 11/22/63 by my man Stephen King. This book has science fiction, real historical events, suspense, and a very good love story. So the main character Jake visits his hometown diner a lot, where his friend Al works. One day Jake comes to this diner and sees that Al is very sick and looks much older, even though Jake saw him a few days ago. After asking Al what's wrong with him, Al confesses that he has a time portal hidden in the back of his diner. The portal transports anyone who steps through it to September 9th, 1958. Al tells Jake that he's been traveling through time to prevent the assassination of John F. Kennedy. but due to getting sick, he asks Jake to take over his mission. Small spoilers now, so if you don't want to hear them, maybe don't watch the next minute or so of the video. So the portal works like this. If you step through it, you always go back in time to September 9th, 1958. Every time someone goes through the portal, the past completely resets, wiping out all the changes made on previous trips. No matter how long you stay in the past, only 2 minutes will pass in the present when you return. Small changes in the past can have massive and unpredictable changes in the future. This is one of my favorite books of all time, and I've read a lot of Stephen King books. I will cut to my shelf right now. So here's my Stephen King shelf. The Shining, The Stand, loved that. Different Seasons has one of my favorite novellas in it. The Body, read it a couple of times. The Long Walk, good stuff. It, of course. This one's I'm reading at the moment. The Green Mile, a very good one. I got the whole Dark Tower series, good stuff. 11/22/63, of course. Yeah, a lot of good stuff here. And the ending of this book is just perfect. So yeah, pick it up. One more. Go. Good shit. Endurance by Alfred Lansing. In August of 1914, Shackleton and his 27-member crew set out to cross Antarctica on a ship called Endurance. But on their journey, the ship gets stuck in ice. After being stuck for 10 months, the ship crushed and sinks, forcing the crew to camp on ice floes. But that's only the beginning of the story. The fight for survival goes on for almost 2 years. Shackleton's ability to keep his men alive, not losing a single one, makes this one of the greatest survival stories ever told. When I'm having a bad day, I often think about the things that these guys went through, and it makes my worries seem pointless. And that's what good books do. They stick with you. Pick it up. Stretch. Go. Stretch. Go. The Life We Bury by Eskens. This is the last book I finished a couple of days ago. So a struggling college student, Joe, gets an assignment where he has to interview a stranger and write up their life story. He doesn't have anyone to interview from his own family. His mother is an alcoholic. He doesn't have a dad. His granddad passed away, which left a huge mark in his heart. And to top it all off, he has an autistic brother who needs special care. So because of that, he decides to go to a nursing home to find a person for his interview. And there he meets Carl Iverson, a dying man who happens to be a convicted murderer. With only a few months to live, Carl has been put in this nursing home after spending 30 years in prison. As Joe starts interviewing Carl, he discovers that some details in his criminal record don't add up. So he starts digging deeper on his own to uncover the secrets of Carl's past and his criminal case. A pretty interesting read. And that's it. Train hard, read good books, stay real. See you in the next one.